PTF and JK back with you as promised. We've got $2 pick six at Santa Anita to look forward to. I'm loving this bet. I'm loving the opportunity for carryovers. Who knows? Maybe we'll have another one on Sunday. And I'll always try when we get those pop-up carryovers to do something for our In the Money Plus audience. inthemoneypodcast.com/plus if you want to learn more about that service. Well, the pick six on Saturday starts in race number 5. And we've got Calbred maiden claimers to kick this thing off, Jonathan. Field of 9 going postward. How do you want to light this candle?
Yeah, I'm going to single the 1 Western Freedom. Drawn towards the inside. Didn't break particularly quick last time, but did rush up, show a lot of speed. The early pace figures are very fast. Did it going 6. Now it's cutting back to the 5.5. I'm hopeful that because of this inside draw and because of the speed, this will be kind of a hustling ride. I think the 1 Western Freedom, if they take even a little bit of a step forward, they can regress a little bit. As long as there's no monsters in here that are first-time starters, I think the 1 Western Freedom's gone.
What do you think about the rail at Santa Anita lately? It hasn't looked great to my eye. I'm a little concerned with Western Freedom about the rail draw with a horse like the 7 having the speed that he has. Have you noticed anything in particular out there? Are you unconcerned, or do you think this horse is just so superior that he can work out a trip even if the rail isn't the place to be?
Well, the 7 has stopped badly in both starts, right? So there's obviously a little bit of an issue there. I would say, though, the 7 is getting Lasix for the first time, so maybe that's the solution to the problem. I could be convinced to use the 7 as like a B, but I'm not too concerned. I think if we know that the rail's bad, it's one of those situations where you can break from down there and then easily get off of it to a certain extent. You don't have to be stuck down there buried. But even a little bit of a regression, I think the 1's still going to be tough.
Yeah, I don't actually like the 7. I was thinking the 1 would be the 7's undoing, but I thought the 2 of them together might just be able to set it up for a runner like number 8, Gray Area, in this spot to get the right kind of stalking trip if they do go. This horse has done a little bit of running in the first 2 starts, and I just thought was going to benefit from this drop in class. And if I'm right about the race shape, I won't be getting beaten by the 1. That's an obvious runner. And my other read on this race was there's a world in which it's just a good spot for a first-time starter. So I'll be watching the board closely, checking the workout report if there is one on runners like the 2 and the 3. You might be right. It might be as simple as Western Freedom, but I'm going to get cute. Let's go to race number 6, $25,000 claimers, fillies and mares going a mile. Oh, we should talk about the weather in Southern California. This is scheduled for the turf. It looks like it could go either way. It's going to rain today. I'm assuming they didn't even card turf for today. So I'm assuming they were just trying to protect it, hoping these will stay on. But that's just something that people should keep in mind. On turf, I was going to try a price, and this horse actually would work on dirt too, potentially. The 3 Dendera, I thought was a little interesting, getting back to a mile on turf where she did some ran some solid races in the past. 15-1 on the morning line. That would be overpriced in my opinion. The 2 Annie's Drop, I thought fit well, projects a good trip from down there on the inside. Big Mama Sue, the 7, another live-looking dropper. On dirt, I'd probably keep the 3 involved and throw in Tiz Now Mama, who might be able to use her speed to good advantage. I didn't prep you for the fact that this might be off, JK, so feel free to go turf only with your picks in this spot.
Yeah, I was just going to go with the 2 and the 7. I think that when you're looking at spots like this, the starter allowance into a claiming race, I think it's a pretty significant drop. You got to remember these starter allowance horses are protected, and it's just in Annie's Joy, the 2 has been very competitive in those situations. She's drawn inside, gets the Hall of Famer Mike Smith, tactical speed, all these things that you should be able to hold that position. I wanted to make sure I had the 2 and the 7 as A's, and the 1 and your 3 as B horses in this spot. And if it comes off, it's one of those situations where I think your 3 moves up. I want to find horses that are forward, and the 3 feels like one of those horses who's shown some forward ability on the dirt already.
Yeah, the 5 as well, some dirt form and speed. I think those probably become the 2 in that scenario. Let's go to race number 7, graded stakes action in the form of the Palos Verdes. We got $100,000 in the pot for this grade 3. 2-5 on the morning line is this potential favorite, Big City Lights. I don't fully trust this horse, JK, with a figure, an outlier type figure earned against whatever it was, 3 rivals. the horse can obviously win, but I was going to get cute and try to beat the horse. Maybe the 4 Bartholdi or the 2 Anarchist can get the job done, especially if Jeff Siegel's right about his educated guess on the prices. I've got to do something trying to beat the 1. Bartholdi, speed, great form, better drawn than the favorite, appears to be tearing up the track in the AM. And Anarchist has some really good back races. That was a salty group he faced in Korea too. Steady prep for the return to the races. So I'm going to mess around with the 4 and the 2. Is the 1 going to kick sand in my face?
I'm going to single the 1 as an A, but I'm it's one of those situations where I'm definitely going to use the 2, 3, 4 as Bs. It just feels like one of those spots where a lot of people are going to single the 1, and I think that you pick up so much value in having those other horses that it's worth it to use them. So I'll use those other 2, 2, 3, 4. Don't really separate them. I think they're all just kind of interesting if the favorite doesn't show up. But by no means do I feel like this is a 2 to 5 shot on paper that deserves to be that short.
It's so tricky in these multi-race bets when you have a horse that you say is, let's just say this horse is 50% to win. Probably more. If you believe the last number, it's more than 50% to win. But the horse is going to be shorter than that. But somehow in the picks, the win price and the price in the picks can be different. In the old days, this horse would be more bet in the picks. These days, with so much sharp money in the picks, they can sometimes be a little bit better, I would say, from the research I've done, than the win price. But it's just like, it gets down to one of these things. Like if God came down from heaven and said, what is the best EV play here? Yeah, you're probably just supposed to beat the horse. But in reality, we're here, we're betting the races on a Saturday. We've got some strong opinions in other legs. And this horse, leaving this horse, even if I think is only 50% likely to win, leaving off the ticket for what it's going to cost me, it's not worth it to me for the mental health insurance, if nothing else. I'm sure there's screaming in basements all over the country, JK, as I make that description. But let's go to race number 8, where we've got these 3-year-old fillies made in special weights. We're going 6.5 on the main oval. Keep that in mind as we look at this one. Who's your idea of the winner?
Yeah, Jeff Siegel pays attention, and the fact that he made this 1 horse 2 to 1 morning line favorite for John Sheriff.
John Sheriff's of all people.
Yeah, this filly by the red hot twirling candy, shout out Lanes End. This horse must be working extremely, extremely well. John Sheriff is only 9% with first-time starters throughout his career. I think that one of the things that everyone remembers so much about Zenyatta is the patience that he showed. Right, this is not a thing that he does, not cranking horses up to win first time out. This horse must have a ton of talent. I'm assuming the workout report's going to suggest that. I'm going to single A here because I believe that's what's going to happen. But I'm just like, I cannot give you guidance without telling you that I have to look at the workout report to see if some of these first-time starters for Phil D'Amato can run. He's got a couple of them. He's got one of them who's been working on the synthetic. I would imagine that horse is pretty turf mint, the 8 Jungle Piece. That's one that could definitely slide onto the ticket as an A or a B. The 10 Lilliput, I guess, or Lilliput is what we're calling that one. A more than ready, drawn towards the outside for Tim Yachtine. And, Tim coming from that Baffert, lineage. He can obviously get one ready to run first time out too. So I'm going to have to see what happens. We've talked about it before. We'll plug them both because I think both of them are good. The National Turf Clocker Report, I think does a great job if you're looking, but also the DRF Clocker Report out at Santa Anita is also very useful. So whichever one of those, I think they're right around the same price point as well. So one of those should give you at least a little bit of guidance.
Lilliput, a reference to Gulliver's Travels by Jonathan Swift. They didn't make you read that at the University of Texas?
Oh, they might have made me read it, but I just got the Cliff Notes.
Fair enough. But I had my note on the one was John Sheriff's first-time starter at 2 to 1. Crazy. What has Jeff Siegel heard? Because like you say, he pays attention, and he does. Yeah. Nick and I have talked about this. He will incorporate steam horses, the horses he's hearing things about. He'll put that info in the morning line, which is helpful to horse players. But I'm just going to use as another horse. You mentioned Jungle Piece, first-time North America for Phil D'Amato here. Obviously, he's very good at this game with these foreign imports. And just looking back at that Dundalk race, I think the horse moved too soon there. And so that race was probably better than it looked, and just looked very green on debut. Big scope for improvement with number 8, Jungle Peace. Then the other D'Amato I had has my second choice. This one's called Favor to You. Hey, old school podcast reference. We get to talk about Divisadero as a sire's off to an all right start. And this horse had 2 siblings that won on debut, granted with very low figures, but I still thought this horse could be worth including at a price under the theory that why enter 2 when 1 would do. So 8 and 9, the D'Amatos for me. I'm not getting beaten by the 1. That's how I see race number 8 at Santa Anita on Saturday. Let's talk about this Calbred allowance that goes as race number 9, 6.5 once again, this time on the dirt. Field of 8. We joked around last week that you maybe had some cultural obligations to bet a horse. I probably have cultural obligations to bet number 8, Tom Seaver, as the inveterate New York Metropolitan supporter that I am, but that wasn't the way that I was going to go. I just thought that Lonesome Stew, the super obvious horse, looked like a possible free square given the numbers and the pace edge. Maybe Tom Seaver as a deep C for mental health insurance purposes. JK, are you with or against Lonesome Stew?
Yeah, I don't trust buy the 2 to 5 shot earlier. I do buy and trust this 3 to 5 shot. It just looks better on paper. Has a right to take a step forward too. Had that little break from the turf from November, until January. Then, now you're going to get another consecutive run here. The horse has been in great form, tactical. I think this one will be hard to beat. So I'm okay with this odds on morning line favorite. I'll single the 4 Lonesome Stew.
Let's get to our nightcap 3-year-old Calbred maiden special weights going 6 furlongs on the turf. Who do you like in here, my friend?
Yeah, it's a similar situation. I'm going to use the 2 and the 4 as A's. The 2 adding the blinkers, I think is interesting for a horse that already has speed. I think that's just going to probably get a little bit more focus out of him, a little bit more finish. So I'm looking forward to seeing how that one runs. The 4, we also talked about, it's just another one with some tactical speed, and these 6 furlong turf sprints drawn well as well. Could end up sitting in the pocket right in behind the favorite, the 2 Hothead. I do want to know a little bit more about I don't know why I don't feel like I meant to put that. You know what I do sometimes? I've told you before. I put the Maggie said she does it too. I put the morning line sometimes as the number of the horse. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yes, but you said it right. Horizon Wildcat.
No, those are right. But I said I wanted to look at the 5, but I don't look at the 5. I want to look at the 8, who was 5 to 1, but I wrote that. And I want to look at the 10, Gemini Buzz for Ryan Hansen, to see which one of these 2 might be working well as well. They could definitely move into the play as an A or a B. But I definitely have to use the first 2 horses with experience.
Yeah, those are the 2 that I wanted in here. Horizon Wildcat, the 4, has what I call the looms boldly angle, and this is true in that family, and it seems to be true in this one. All the Dam's foals improve a bunch numerically from start 1 to start 2, and I just thought the 2 runner was obvious off the debut. There you have it. Those are our thoughts on the pick 6. Please let us know in the comments what we got right, what we got wrong, what you think is going to happen at Santa Anita on this Saturday card. If you're on the podcast side, I'll be back to wrap it up, and on YouTube, click another video. Why not? Won't kill you.